Alright guys, welcome to This Week in Wrestling, covering everything that's gone on over the course of this past week, starting with the news that Roman Reigns will be receiving a rematch for the WWE Universal Championship with Kevin Owens at the Royal Rumble after their match at Roadblock last weekend ended due to outside interference from Chris Jericho. In order to stop the same thing from happening at the Rumble, Raw General Manager Mick Foley has announced that the match will feature the special stipulation that Kevin Owens' best friend Chris Jericho will be locked inside a steel cage and suspended high above the ring, just like we've seen recently at NXT TakeOver, in which Paul Ellering was placed in a suspended cage. The reason behind the matchup is said to be partially due to WWE's Crash Cage playset, as when the toy was originally released it didn't make a huge impact. However, that all changed after NXT TakeOver as sales began to surge after the stipulation was used on TV, and due to this, WWE management was said to want to feature the cage on the main show in the hope that would further boost sales over the Christmas period. Following this news, in this week's Question of the Week, we want to know what you think of the WWE Crash Cage or suspended cage match. Are you a fan of the match type, and how do you see things playing out at the Royal Rumble? You can see Twitter responses across the bottom of the screen, but make sure to get involved and have your say in the comments. Staying with Raw, and this week also seeing General Manager Mick Foley reveal brand new Raw Tag Team titles for Sheamus and Cesaro. The new belts do away with the old bronze look in favour of this new silver design, complete with red Raw style straps, similar to how the SmackDown Tag Team titles feature the show's blue straps. Switching to TNA and following Anthem Sports' takeover of the company, changes are beginning to take place, and there's some pretty big ones, starting with the news that TNA are launching their own Impact Wrestling app across the UK and Ireland, in which fans will be able to subscribe to Total Access TNA Wrestling, a digital subscription service available for £4.99 a month, in which fans will be able to watch weekly episodes of Impact both online and on mobile platforms. The service launches on January 5th and will see weekly episodes of Impact available to watch immediately on the app at the same time as the premiere on both the Fight Network and Pop TV across North America. Additionally, the app will also feature the Fight Network's weekly recap show Inside Impact and access to extensive TNA library content, including episodes of classic Impact Wrestling, Explosion, TNA Wrestling's Greatest Matches, British Boot Camp, TNA Epics, Unfinished Business, Legends, and live pay-per-views, classic pay-per-views, and one-night-only specials, essentially giving TNA fans their very own alternate to the WWE Network. So this is a huge deal for TNA, especially following the news that was dropped by Challenge TV in the UK, as this gives them their own network to offer shows on, and for just £4.99 a month, half the price of the WWE Network, then fans of TNA will have access to thousands of hours worth of programming. Switching stories, and this week Booker T revealed that he's interested in running for Mayor of Houston in 2019. Booker, who was speaking to the Is Wrestling Fixed podcast, said he knows he won't be working with WWE forever, and that in his position you need to know when to make your move and move on to the next stage of your life. For Booker, he says that a lot of young folks in Houston are looking up to him, and he offers them both hope and inspiration, and that's something that he wants to build on and actually go out there and do, adding that being the mayor is going to be a hell of a job, but it's a job that he's prepared for. Up next, and following on from some sad news that was revealed recently by Vader, in which he said that he's been given just 2 years left to live, the big man sat down with HannibalTV.com to update fans on his situation. In the interview, he reiterated the news that he's been told he has just 2 years left to live by 3 different doctors. However, in the hope of prolonging his life, DDP recently reached out to him to offer help and help him lose £100 and reduce the strain on his heart. Vader has taken up DDP on the offer and will be heading out to Atlanta on January 2nd to begin training. However, despite taking steps to reduce the strain on his heart, he did reveal that he's still planning on wrestling and that he already has dates booked. Up next, we have an update on the proposed Charlotte vs Bayley feud, as previously it was reported that WWE were pushing ahead with plans to have the pair square off early instead of continuing the Charlotte vs Sasha program. However, according to F4W Online, those plans were changed and WWE are now said to have postponed the feud in order to have it culminate at WrestleMania 33. According to insiders, the first match between the pair will take place at the Royal Rumble, with a further match planned the following month and a third pay-per-view bout at WrestleMania. The man behind the plans is said to be Vince McMahon himself, as despite Vince not seeing Sasha as a genuine draw, he's said to be very high on Bayley and sees her and Charlotte as being the money program leading into WrestleMania. Speaking on the women of WWE, and in an update to Mickie James's current status, it's been reported that James was in Pittsburgh on Thursday to complete her physicals ahead of her return. At present, the current information going around is that James has signed a full-time contract which will begin in January and see a mega return to the main roster on the SmackDown Live brand. Back in the news this week was Ryback, as he spoke to former WWE creative writer Kevin Eck, in which he was asked what he would say if he ever ran into CM Punk following the comments that Punk made against him previously. In response, Ryback revealed that while he hadn't spoke to Punk since he left, he did recently speak to Colt Cabana, whose podcast it was, in which Punk took shots at him, with Cabana apologising to Ryback for what was said, despite it being Punk that fired the shots. In regards to Punk, Ryback said that if he did see him in the street, then despite what you might think, he'd simply tell him, "If I ever really did hurt you in the ring, I truly am sorry, but I don't think it was the right thing to do to say the things you did. Life is too short to hold grudges, and I truly wish him the best in his life." Ryback went on saying that he thinks part of the reason behind Punk's comments were due to him not being happy at the times that he worked with him, but that he's happy for Punk to now be enjoying what he's doing. Speaking of Punk, this week's seen the straight edge star embracing the Christmas spirit and giving out gifts, namely his WWE Championship. The recipient, Punk's friend and former WWE star Cliff Compton, revealed the news on Twitter, in which he said he was helping Punk clean out his storage unit when he came across a box of WWE Championships and commented that it was kind of cool. In response, Punk said, "It's yours, Merry Christmas." Following up last week's news of WWE introducing the United Kingdom Championship and a weekly UK show on the WWE Network, this week Triple H spoke to ESPN, in which he confirmed that the company are continuing to look for UK talent, and he was asked if they're interested in signing Will Ospreay. In response, Triple H said, "Will Ospreay is an amazing talent. There's a lot of amazing talent out there. When they're available, when it's the right time for them, I want to work with all of them. It's funny to me, people say things along the lines of, this guy's amazing talent, but maybe he's not the right fit, or this guy doesn't have the experience. If they're great at this, then talent is talent. I want to bring in the best talent. I want to help them be better. I want to take our process and help them to be the best they can be." Some people go like, "Oh, they're trying to fix things." We don't try to fix things, we're trying to make them better. I learn something new every single day about the business because it changes on a daily basis. Anybody who thinks they don't have anything to learn in this business is crazy. Also being interviewed this week was former WWE star Rey Mysterio, who spoke to Sports Illustrated, where he revealed who he thinks is the best wrestler in the WWE. Ray said, "Randy Orton is, in my eyes and in my heart, the best wrestler in that company. I'm not talking about high flying, I'm not talking about the fast paced acrobatic style. To me, he's the best in WWE right now. I don't think there is ever going to be a guy that works the style he does. The way he carries himself in the ring means a lot to me. Randy has a great presence and style that can't be compared to anyone, and nobody can imitate his style." Following the recent return of Goldberg to WWE, this week seen Stone Cold Steve Austin once again asked whether we'd see the Rattlesnake make a similar return for one more match. In response to the question, Austin tackled it head on and unfortunately shot down any hope of a return, stating, "I'm 52 and I get these emails all the time asking why I don't come back. They'll say so and so did it, Goldberg did it, and you know what? I'm happy for all my friends that are making comebacks. Bill Goldberg going in and beating Brock Lesnar was awesome, setting it up for WrestleMania 33 in Orlando, but I'm not making no comeback. I had someone cuss me out on email the other day saying that they hated my guts because I wouldn't do it, I wouldn't come back, but listen, I'm done. I rode off into the sunset in 2003, whenever it was, after WrestleMania 19, came back for a couple of appearances, but I'm done and I'm happy being done, and I don't want the pressure of having another match on my shoulders because I don't have to have another match because I'm satisfied with the career that I had." Switching focus to NXT, and WWE have announced that they'll be airing the NXT Osaka Japan show, which took place earlier this month. That'll be airing on the WWE Network this coming Wednesday. The show is a 2-hour special and features Shinsuke Nakamura challenging for the NXT Championship against Samoa Joe, Asuka taking on Nia Jax for the NXT Women's Championship, DIY versus Tajiri and Akira Tozawa for the NXT Tag Team Championships, Liv Morgan and Lilia versus Billie Kay and Peyton Royce, and Wani Lorcan versus Andre Cien Almas. Also announced for the following week on January 4th is WWE airing the NXT live show from Melbourne, Australia, in which Nakamura and Joe face off once again, this time inside a steel cage. Finally, for all you WWE gamers out there, including myself, WWE this week announced a new partnership with Clutch Chairs, which will see them release a set of WWE themed gaming chairs. The chairs will feature both a mixture of current day stars and legends, with the first batch announced to include AJ Styles, John Cena, Stone Cold Steve Austin, The New Day, Enzo and Cass, Sasha Banks and The Ultimate Warrior. So if you find yourself with some Christmas money to spend, you can pre-order the chairs from the Clutch Chairs website starting in early January. Looking ahead to next week and the Boxing Day edition of Monday Night Raw, and WWE have begun teasing the first match for the show, as WWE.com have announced that Enzo Amore and Big Cass will be teaming up to take on Rusev and his newfound ally Jinder Mahal after the pair attacked Enzo on last week's show. With that brings us to the end of This Week in Wrestling. I hope you've enjoyed it, and if you did, I would love it if you could drop it a like to show your support. Also, make sure to click the bell notification to be notified of new videos so you don't miss out on any news. Most importantly though, make sure to get involved and let me know your thoughts on all this week's stories in the comments. Until next time though, I hope Santa's good to you, have yourself an awesome Christmas, and until next time, catch you later.